seem like we're friends, but deep down you're my enemy. I like your company, but babe, you're draining all my energy. For a house on the hills, I'm grinding, stressed all of the time, still smiling. I'm still with the same day ones, still with the same old thugs. Only the whips that's changing, new locations, different places.
Views from the hills, dreams why we grinding. Chilling there, planning with guidance. Been a long year, still trying, still patient. Blessing my mama with greatness, telling my friends we made it. Old notes, new faces, same score.
That boy is Benny Hanna.
We some players, in the trap ain't playing. Going up amazing, take the loot we standing. Or saving frill, feel something unreal. Lifestyle real deal, gotta stay still, won't get the shield. We some players, in the trap ain't playing. Going up amazing, take the loot we standing. Or saving frill, feel something unreal. Lifestyle real deal, gotta stay still, won't get the shield.
Had to get my money up and leave them all behind. She said you don't love me, boy, you only love your grind. If you keep on digging, don't be scared of what you find. Life wasn't always this good cause it took some time. If I keep on grinding this way, I'll see trillions. Got some little niggas with me, they my minions. You can call me Holy Phil cause I'm the real deal. Listen to the music, then you'll find out how I feel. I was sitting in the bando bagging up the cane. Looking at my life, I can't believe the flipping change. The prophet told me life ain't never gonna be the same, but there ain't nothing in the world that's gonna ease my pain.
We some players, in the trap ain't playing. Going up amazing, take the loot we standing. Or saving frill, feel something unreal. Lifestyle real deal, gotta stay still, won't get the shield. We some players, in the trap ain't playing. Going up amazing, take the loot we standing. Or saving frill, feel something unreal. Lifestyle real deal, gotta stay still, won't get the shield. Been a minute, took an hour, but we back. Took the loss, we on the track. They don't know where we at, but we know where we stand. Only sipping on some yak or rave raw. All the nights we on the way for. It ain't over, just a start. We go hard, we can't do half. On the way to the top, just before we done a lot this place. We earned it, doing the most, we burning. Careless whisper, we going through, player, we trapping out. Bro with the pound, smell out the house, whole like wasabi, burning your mouth. Babe so wet, hell yeah, we surfing, my guys. My slimes we purging, on lurking, on scheming. Every season, you know the reason. Gotta go, we up next level, bros in the trap, might do some devil. Move so different, not for darlings, perfect timing to gain these diamonds. You know, we whipping, feeling the vibe, I know they liked it. Growing these bands, this too, they're trying, dreaming. Empire rise it. We some players, in the trap ain't playing. Going up amazing, take the loot we standing. Or saving frill, feel something unreal. Lifestyle real deal, gotta stay still, won't get the shield. We some players, in the trap ain't playing. Going up amazing, take the loot we standing. Or saving frill, feel something unreal. Lifestyle real deal, gotta stay still, won't get the shield. We some players, in the trap ain't playing. Going up amazing, take the loot we standing. Or saving frill, feel something unreal. Lifestyle real deal, gotta stay still, won't get the shield.
That boy is Benny Hanna.
We some players, in the trap ain't playing. Going up amazing, take the loot we standing. Or saving frill, feel something unreal. Lifestyle real deal, gotta stay still.
Alright, active. Yeah, it's not looking good, guys. It looks like perhaps the entry was missed. I mean, not missed, but I don't know. The candle just opened and it just dropped down, right? Interesting. So as you can see from CPI, the market was just going up. We reached all-time highs, 32, 34, sorry. And then after that, we are retracing. So yeah, now just gotta wait. So now the old me, I would have bought around this area. In this frame here, but no, it's not the strategy I use anymore. So let's see what's happening around the world right now. Look at this. This is a big deal. One second, I'm just eating.
In Singapore, dreamers become doers and disruptors. Together, we create new beginnings the world isn't ready for. This is our home ground.
Joining us this morning, PNC Asset Management Chief Investment Strategist Young-Yu Ma. Young-Yu, as we're speaking here, S&P goes green. Why do you think there's minimal hand-wringing about this today?
Well, there is a lot weighing on the markets. The knee-jerk reaction was down, but it does look like the markets are consolidating a bit here and bouncing back. I do think this is an extra cloud over the markets. This and some of the recent discussion by the president about capping credit card interest rates. I do think this makes it hard for headway to take place in the markets here in the near term until some of this is resolved. Clearly, there are a lot of underpinnings to the market. Productivity is favorable. Fiscal stimulus is going to be coming online this year, and probably some of the president's other directives coming out this year are favorable to the market. So I think the market is still leaning optimistic, but this does create a cloud here.
Although it's hard to envision how any of this gets filtered down into, let's say, 26 earnings guidance, right? Or about anything, margins, revenue, EPS, hiring plans, CapEx. Do you see that coming in the coming weeks?
Well, not much, and that's where I think the market is optimistic about. If you look at the underlying...
Good evening. On Friday, the Department of Justice served the Federal Reserve with grand jury subpoenas, threatening a criminal indictment related to my testimony before the Senate Banking Committee last June. That testimony concerned in part a multi-year project to renovate historic Federal Reserve office buildings. I have deep respect for the rule of law and for accountability in our democracy. No one, certainly not the chair of the Federal Reserve, is above the law. But this unprecedented action should be seen in the broader context of the administration's threats and ongoing pressure. This new threat is not about my testimony last June or about the renovation of the Federal Reserve buildings. It is not about Congress's oversight role. The Fed, through testimony and other public disclosures, made every effort to keep Congress informed about the renovation project. Those are pretexts. The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president. This is about whether the Fed will be able to continue to set interest rates based on evidence and economic conditions, or whether instead monetary policy will be directed by political pressure or intimidation. I have served at the Federal Reserve under 4 administrations, Republicans and Democrats alike. In every case, I have carried out my duties without political fear or favor, focused solely on our mandate of price stability and maximum employment. Public service sometimes requires standing firm in the face of threats. I will continue to do the job the Senate confirmed me to do, with integrity and a commitment to serving the American people. Thank you.
Yeah. Stuff Let's see if my guys got something. No.
US warplanes are stepping up activity at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, as Washington urges American citizens to leave Iran immediately. The US State Department warning signals rising concern over civilian safety. Military readiness and evacuation planning are now moving in parallel. Al Udeid Air Base is one of the largest US military hubs in the Middle East, hosting more than 10,000 troops. The base can support strategic bombers, refueling tankers, and long-range strike aircraft. Recent movements underline Washington's ability to escalate quickly if needed. At the White House, the message is firm but measured. President Donald Trump says diplomacy remains the preferred path, while refusing to rule out force. Officials stress that all military options remain on the table.
Widespread unrest, killings and arrests in Iran during protests sparked by a collapse in the local currency. The leadership says it will listen to demonstrators, but rioters face the death penalty as the US warns against a crackdown. How volatile is the situation? This is Inside Story.
Mashhad.
The past 2 days we saw
Been killed. Rights groups. Inflation.
Hello again, I'm James Bays. 2 weeks of widespread demonstrations have shaken Iran, with reports of hundreds killed, both anti-government protesters and security forces. The scale of the unrest has been driven by a collapse in the local currency. Making ends meet has become an even bigger struggle for more and more people in a country already under pressure from international sanctions. While the Iranian president has promised to listen to protesters, the Attorney General has warned those involved in the violence could face execution. The US President Donald Trump has threatened military strikes if civilians are killed, with Iran warning it will hit back if attacked. So, how volatile is the situation? Can Iran's leadership contain the wave of protests? And are there wider consequences if instability in Iran worsens? We'll talk to our panel of guests in a moment, but first this report from Alexandra Byers.
Defiance, burning bright across Iran. 2 weeks of demonstrations against soaring inflation and a plunging currency have spiraled into the worst unrest the country has seen in 3 years. Anti-government protests began in the capital and spread to dozens of other towns and cities, including Qom, Iran's second holiest city, and Mashhad, the birthplace of the supreme leader. A crackdown by security forces followed. Most internet and telecommunications services have been cut since Thursday. The Attorney General is warning anyone involved in the protests could face the death penalty. Dozens of civilians and security officials have reportedly been killed. Rights groups say more than 2,500 people have been arrested. Iran's supreme leader accuses them of acting on behalf of the US president.
He claims to be on the side of the Iranian people. He is irresponsible. He does not care about civilians. Those protesters could believe him. They burn waste bins just to please him.
Donald Trump has repeatedly threatened to intervene and warned Tehran not to use force against demonstrators, or the US will hit Iran where it hurts. The government says it will strike Israel and American bases in the region if the US attacks. The defiance shown at rallies, despite threats of severe consequences, reflects the extent of the discontent, according to one Iranian academic.
Demonstrations were...
Welcome back. We are joined today by Professor Saeed Mohammed Marandi, a professor from Tehran University and also a former advisor to Iran's nuclear negotiation team. So thank you for coming back on.
Hi Glenn, thank you very much for having me. It just shows how much I like your show, because I went through a lot of trouble to get online.
Well, I appreciate it very much, and I guess what you're referring to is the internet connections in reference to the different riots which have been going on in different cities in Iran, including Tehran then. It does seem though that every time there's a build-up to another regime.
Okay, one sec. So guys, look at what happened. As of yet, nothing. As of yet, nothing. Still waiting. Oh shit, this guy got fat. Look, I found the video, but jeez, man. I still have a lot of things to do, buddy. This is not good. So guys, basically I got something, but I'm not opening it yet, like not until I've settled down. Oh my god, it's not good. Let's see what this video is saying.
This is arguably one of the most important things that's happened in geopolitics in a very long time. The United States moved into Venezuela and captured Nicolas Maduro, where he was removed from power, and almost overnight, the geopolitical chess game that's being played in the world right now has changed completely. It happened very fast and it threw a lot of people off guard, and if you've been following the news, you've probably heard the explanation.
This from the beginning has been about getting rid of Maduro, grabbing Venezuela's oil for American oil companies and Trump's billionaire buddies.
And that's because Venezuela holds roughly 300 billion barrels of oil reserves, which is the biggest in the world. At around $57 a barrel, that puts the total value at roughly $17 trillion. Now, even if you wholesale that whole amount at 50% off, we're still talking about oil that's worth close to $9 trillion. And let me just put that number into perspective, because that is more than the GDP of every country on Earth except US and China. Now, that is roughly 4 times the size of Japan's economy. So yes, there's definitely a lot of oil, and that's why some people think that's what this is about. Now, that story is not completely wrong. Venezuela really does have a huge amount of oil reserves, and oil still powers the world and the global economy. But the truth is, oil has very little to do with this story. If this was really about oil, this operation would have happened years ago, when Venezuela's production of oil was way higher and its infrastructure was less damaged. So then the question is, well, if it's not about oil, then why are we told it's about oil? And that's because that is the story that's easiest to explain. But behind that story is a much more interesting reason. And that reason is how global power actually works in the modern day. So in today's video, I want to explain what that reason really is, why Venezuela was so important to the US, and why China, Russia, and Iran all matter here at the same time.
So Iran's in big trouble. It looks to me that the people are taking over certain cities that nobody thought were really possible just a few weeks ago. We're watching the situation very carefully. I've made the statement very strongly that if they start killing people like they have in the past, we will get involved. We'll be hitting them very hard where it hurts. And that doesn't mean boots on the ground, but it means hitting them very, very hard where it hurts. So.
And once you understand this chessboard, hopefully you'll be able to understand the rest of the world and where it might be going next and how it might affect your investments. This story is not just about oil and Venezuela. It is so much more interesting. So with that said, let's get into it. Hi, my name is Andre Jick. Hope you're doing well. Come for the finance and stay for the oil. Except this time, it's not actually about the oil. And if you don't believe me, here it is directly from Marco Rubio.
First of all, let me go back up. We don't need Venezuela's oil. We have plenty of oil in the United States. What we're not going to allow is for the oil industry in Venezuela to be controlled by adversaries of the United States. You have to understand, why does China need their oil? Why does Russia need their oil? Why does Iran need their oil? They're not even in this continent. This is the Western Hemisphere. This is where we live. And we're not going to allow the Western Hemisphere to be a base of operation for adversaries, competitors, and rivals of the United States.
To quote him, he says, "They're not even on this continent. This is the Western Hemisphere. This is where we live, and we're not going to allow the Western Hemisphere to be a base of operations for adversaries, competitors, and rivals of the United States." And this is where it helps to really understand how the United States actually works. You see, we have to understand about the President of the United States is that he's not the one to come up with these ideas to get into Venezuela and take out the leader. As much as some people may love the President, he was not the mastermind of this idea. That would be the job of the Pentagon. Once the Pentagon analyzes the interests of the United States, it then tells
so
the
guys,
President
I'm opening
about
it.
the
Let's
plan,
see.
to which the President can decide yes or no. Here's a very basic understanding of how this decision was made. There's three main things that need to be true at the same time for the U.S. to do this. Number one, a rival power puts itself in a strategic region. Number two, that region starts to affect global trade, security, or leverage. And three, it sits inside of or close to America's enforcement zone, aka where the military bases are. Now, Venezuela checked every single box. First, geographically speaking, it sits inside the Western Hemisphere, which the U.S. has treated as a core security zone for hundreds of years. Proximity-wise, Venezuela is close enough that if another country put its military there, it would threaten the mainland. So that's number one. Number two are the resources.
One sec, guys. Lorenzo's here. Yes, Lorenzo.
What's up, bro?
Yeah, nothing much, man. We're here waiting for you.
Yeah, live.
Live, bro. Live-o. Yeah, nothing much, bro. It's fine. Literally, Golino is consolidating, bro, basically, for now. Yeah. Yeah, so it's just consolidating. I'm opening the new phone now. Yeah, got it today, bro. But I was very late, G. I was very late, man. I got out of the bed at like 2 o'clock. What time did you go to sleep? Fuck yeah. No. Bro. Did you say 2:30? 1:30? Fuck you know. Yeah. Yeah, bro, exactly. Bloody hell. Okay, okay. Yeah, that's fine, bro. Why? You was already trading? What? You don't have any other games? I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, bro. Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say you could probably go to the supermarket and just buy another game, G. Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah, even me, bro. I said to myself after July, like, bro, I'm gonna play FIFA as hard as I can, but then when July comes, that's it. I'm done. Yeah, man. I'm gonna sweat up, bro. Yesterday I went to sleep. I went to sleep today at like 8:30. I came back from the gym. I was on the live, and then after the live, I was playing FIFA, bro. It's mad. Yeah, man, bro, and I didn't even get any nice players, man. I didn't even get any nice players, bro. Like, it was basically all for nothing. All for nothing, bro. All for nothing. But anyways, it's fine. So how long do you think you'll be, G? Okay, okay. That one is that going to the moon? Okay, nice. Yeah. Yeah, I know you. I know. I forgot the name of it. No, is. Oh my god, I know which movie you're talking about, bro. Because this guy, he was a poor man, and then he took over the life of one guy. And the guy was in the Chicago Commodity Exchange or something like that. Trading Places, yeah. Yeah, bro. It's no. I actually like the movie. Yeah. Anyways, bro. Okay, I'll speak to you soon, Jay. I'm gonna start setting up the phone. I think I'm quite behind, bro. I mean, I had the shower already. I'm already ready, but I just need to do the other. I want to make sure I finish setting up the phone, you know. Okay, I'll speak to you soon. Oh, let me. Okay, I'm gonna open the Zoom and leave it ready. So when you're ready, just join. All right, see you soon, G. Bye. All right, guys. Start. I'm so sorry about that. Oh my god. And to be honest, it's crazy because, guys, I'm still sick. It's not good. Okay. So I need to take out the SIM card. I think the phone is backed up already. I didn't put any new information on the phone, so everything should be backed up. Last backed up. 11 past 3. Okay. So, time to take out the SIM card and do the takeover. Oh shit. Oh, I think I'm messing up my earring as well. And I don't know where I put the other one. Is it blocked? Oh, I am bugging, man. There's one in the box. Alright, so back to this.
Now, oil is nice, but the U.S. has plenty of oil. What the U.S. needs are strategic materials that are used by modern weapons, electronics, and defense systems. Those are the rare earths. And that's where China comes in. China has rare earths, but China and Russia also both need oil. Now, China has invested $100 billion into Venezuela, and they became close friends. The last thing the U.S. wants to allow is for China's presence to dominate and to get their discounted oil from Venezuela while using their currency instead of the U.S. dollar. That's a leverage point. Very important that other countries understand. It's not okay to use their money to buy our oil.
They're going to, from now on, do trade in their own currencies, get right around the dollar. They're creating a secondary economy in the world, totally independent of the United States.
Okay, but then you add the third layer. Venezuela wasn't just allowing foreign money to be traded for oil. It was also hosting foreign advisors, intelligence sharing. Now, these aren't necessarily GDP or economy-related things, but they're still huge threats to the U.S. because now we're talking about projecting power to the world. Now this is happening inside the Western Hemisphere.
I can't lie.
Inside what the U.S. considers its security perimeter. You put all these three things together, and that's how the Pentagon makes its decisions. You have geography, a rival presence inside your gates. You have your resources, which are strategic materials like silver, gold, rare earths, and most importantly, currency settlement, right? Which money we're using to trade these things. And then you have security. Militaries working close together, close to your house. Any of these by itself could be managed. Maybe two. But all three at the same time on America's side of the world. And that's why this happened when it did. Okay, now you might be asking at this point, Andre, I don't know if I really believe that all of this is happening, and how do you actually know what's going on? And the truth is, I don't know for sure. All of this is based on very high-level military frameworks, strategies, and theories. But once you understand them, you'll be able to understand what's happening in the world and what might happen next. And I want to share those theories with you right now. But first, here's something I've been personally doing to keep stacking sats while this plays out with the Gemini credit card, the sponsor of this segment. It's a card I've been using for a while now, and all opinions are my own and were not influenced by Gemini. I use it like any regular credit card for gas, groceries, and travel, but I earn Bitcoin every time I use it. It has no annual fees, and you can see the rates and fees in the description for more info, but you get up to 4% back in over 50 cryptocurrencies instantly, and you can choose which one you want. Personally, I have mine set to Bitcoin, but that's 4% on gas, transit, and rideshare, 3% on dining, 2% on groceries, and 1% on everything else. It's a MasterCard World Elite. I've used it internationally with no problems, and every time I use it, it adds Bitcoin to my portfolio. And the best part is, you're investing as you spend. In fact, according to Gemini, cardholders who earned and held their Bitcoin for 1 year saw an average appreciation of 279%. And those are not your typical credit card points, so if you're interested, click the link in the description.
Let's go. I mean, it looks like the setup is
Andre to
quite
get $200
fast.
in Bitcoin when you spend $3,000 in your first 90 days. Thank you, Gemini, for sponsoring this segment, and now let's get back to it. So let me explain these theories to you, starting with maybe the most important one, and it's something called the Monroe Doctrine. Now, it's not some conspiracy theory. It's actually one of the oldest and most consistent views of U.S. foreign policy, and it explains American foreign policy for about the last 200 years or so.
Monroe Doctrine, we sort of forgot about it. It was very important, but we forgot about it. We don't forget about it anymore. Under our new national security strategy, American dominance in the Western Hemisphere will never be questioned again.
It was first talked about in 1823 by President James Monroe, and at its core, the idea is actually very simple. The Western Hemisphere, aka the left side of the world, would not be open for foreign powers to colonize, militarize, or use as a base of operations. Now, at the time, the US was talking about Europe. The United States basically said, if you're a European empire, don't bring your wars, your militaries, or your influence into this part of the world. In return, the US was like, we will stay out of the European conflicts. That was the deal. Now, over time, obviously, that idea has evolved. The Monroe Doctrine stopped being about just colonization, and it became about anything related to influence or U.S. interest. In the modern day, it's about whether rival powers are embedding themselves economically, militarily, or strategically in the Western Hemisphere in a way that threatens U.S. interests. That is how I know when Marco Rubio says, quote, this is the Western Hemisphere, this is where we live, and we're not going to allow it to be a base of operations for adversaries. Everything he's saying is borrowed from the Monroe Doctrine. He's saying it doesn't matter if the influence is foreign soldiers, supply chains, oil, rare earths, whatever. The rule is that the United States does not want hostile power projection inside its hemisphere, aka its half of the world. And throughout history, this doctrine has been invoked over and over again. During the Cold War, the Cuban Missile Crisis, and every time it's followed the same format. When foreign powers threaten any of those U.S. interests, and they're too close for comfort, geographically speaking, that's when the response escalates. But the question is, hold on, because Venezuela didn't just suddenly become important in 2026 or even last year, so why now? And the truth is, it's actually been a long time coming, but what really changed is that Venezuela started to get too close and too friendly with an adversary. And it's an adversary that the US does not want to allow to build a home and use its resources on this side of the world. So that's the Monroe Doctrine. And that brings me to the other side of the world. And once you understand this one, it'll hopefully also let you understand what's happening and what might happen next. So far, I've told you about the left-hand side of the world because that's how the United States has spent the last 200 years defending itself. But the rest of the world, aka the right or the Eastern Hemisphere, has been playing a very different game. Over 100 years ago, Some of the earliest geopolitical thinkers asked a very basic...
Siri, how's the weather? Hey Siri, send a message. Siri, set the timer for 3 minutes. Okay, so yeah, now I just have to wait for the phone to restore.
Basic question. What actually gives a nation its power?
But for now, look, in the meantime of watching this video, as you can see... Oh shit, I think, was this the entry? I don't know. I don't think so. It could be, but we'll see now. Plus, where do we go from the top? You know what? If it comes back here, I'll give it a try. Oh shit. Oh my god, that when me started. Alright, I'm just gonna let this trade do whatever it wants to do. It caught me off guard. And to be quite frank, I'm not all with it.
out of that question, two ideas became the main forces that explain the Eastern Hemisphere today. One of those ideas is called the Heartland Theory, and the theory is very simple. If you control the center of Eurasia, Europe and Asia, the huge land core that stretches across Eastern Europe, Russia, and Asia, you control the most defensible, resource-rich region on Earth. And if you control that, you eventually control the world. Okay, but then there was another idea of how to rule the world. It's called the Rimland Theory, developed by an American strategist. This theory says, no, actually, you don't have to rule all that land. Instead of focusing on the center of the map, look at the edges, the coastlines, the trade routes, and where economies actually connect together. If you control the outer perimeter of those strategic areas instead of the inside, you have a much bigger advantage. If rival powers control the countries along your coast, they don't need to actually invade you. They can just box you in. They can limit trade. They can limit naval access. They limit your ability to project power to the world. And over time, that puts landlocked countries at a disadvantage. And Russia is the perfect modern example of this. It controls huge territories across Eurasia, the classic Heartland Theory. But most of that land is either landlocked or frozen for a huge part of the year. And that's why Crimea matters so much. It gives Russia a year-round warm water naval port into the Black Sea, and from there into the Mediterranean, and that's why Ukraine is also very important. Ukraine sits between Russia's heartland and the sea. If Ukraine joins NATO and the West, Russia is cut off from important maritime routes. So from a Rimland theory perspective, that's really, really bad. This is why controlling the inside alone is just not enough. You can own endless amounts of land and minerals and manpower, but if other powers control the coasts, the ports, and the seas, they control the rules of the game. That's also why Russia reacts the way it does and why it does not want Ukraine to join NATO. So now that you hopefully understand the big picture, let me tie all these theories and strategies together to paint a very basic picture of what's happening. So the world we live in right now is not just run on oil anymore. Yes, oil is still very important, but we have to look at where the ball is going, not where it has been. And in the future, it's the rare earths, right? It's the data infrastructure, the ability to keep building weapons and electronics and technology, AI, and eventually the robots. And this is where the United States has a very real problem. Under the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, the Department of Defense, or I guess the Department of War now, set aside $7.5 billion specifically for critical minerals, with already over $1 billion that's been spent to stockpile some of the rare earths and minerals that the U.S. needs. But there's a problem. Right now, the United States is 100% import reliant, meaning we have to get it from someone else, for 12 critical minerals, and more than 50% reliant for 28 out of the 50 materials that are classified as essential to national security. So the US can't just swap them out for something else. They are irreplaceable. Now, China controls between 60 to 95% of global processing capacity for most of these critical minerals. And even more importantly, China processes about 91% of the world's rare earth elements. So the US needs something China has, because those supply chains almost always pass through Chinese refineries. And that creates a choke point. It gives China a very powerful leverage point. And this is where Venezuela becomes a lot more important than most people realize, because Venezuela doesn't just have oil. It also has huge deposits of things like coltan, rare earth elements, gold, bauxite, and other strategic materials that you need to build electronics and weapons. And for years, China was working with the Venezuelan government and routing those materials into Chinese-controlled processing. In other words, China's not just buying these things on the open market. It was putting itself at the center of the supply chains, right at the source. Now, from the perspective of the US, that's a nightmare. That's not good. It means materials that are important to US national defense are being extracted under the supervision of its competitor, processed by that same competitor, and then reintroduced back into the market. Now that is a lot of leverage for China. So Venezuela then was not just about seizing oil. This is about denying them the leverage, denying control over being at the center of supply chains, denying their military presence, denying their currency experimentation, right? Denying this geographic proximity we talked about. And it's forcing negotiations to happen on terms that are much more favorable to the United States. Even though there is a lot of pushback from some media saying, this is not lawful, right? This is not allowed. The president shouldn't be doing this. The truth is, international law doesn't mean anything without a nation's ability to enforce them. If you can't enforce the law, all you can do is just condemn them. Okay then. So then the question is, well, if this is how the world works right now, then what might happen next? What I'm about to explain is not the official policy, but it is a very common working theory in certain geopolitical circles, and once you understand it, a lot of recent events will hopefully start to make a lot more sense. And the theory goes something like this. What we're watching is a consolidation of power between the world's major superpowers. Each power is trying to lock down what it considers non-negotiables based on their geographies. Now, in this theory, Russia's priority is Ukraine, because Ukraine sits between Russia and the sea. From Russia's perspective, losing Ukraine to NATO permanently locks them out of maritime access and leaves them strategically boxed in.
Yes.
China's priority is Taiwan. Taiwan is all about semiconductors, industrial supply chains, and control of the Western Pacific. From China's perspective, Taiwan is a very important core strategic asset. And the United States' priority is the Western Hemisphere. That's Venezuela. That's Cuba. That's really anything, any place where rival powers could build military bases, control
I'm just watching one video from
or reroute supply
YouTube,
chains in a way that could threaten U.S. leverage. Okay, so then the next question is, what's next? And it seems like the next big move is most likely going to be Iran. Iran is important for a couple different reasons. First, Iran controls the northern edge of something called the Strait of Hormuz, which is one of the most important choke points in the entire world. Roughly 1/5 of all the oil in the world moves through that small stretch of water every single day. Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Kuwait, Iran, Qatar, all of their exports pass through that area. That gives Iran leverage way beyond its size, right? This is the classic Rimland power. Now, there is a second reason though. Iran supplies huge amounts of cheap oil to China and Russia, which the US doesn't want. Now, all of this is done outside of US enforcement. That weakens US sanction power. It makes China more independent of the US than the US wants. It's not just China. Iran also coordinates closely with Russia, especially since 2022. Iran supplies drones and weapons and all sorts of things that the US doesn't like. And then, of course, there's reason number 3, which is the elephant in the room, which is Israel. Iran's threat to Israel is one of the most important reasons that the United States treats Iran differently from almost everybody else. Israel is very important to the US because Israel is also one of the biggest buyers of US military technologies. and it's almost a proxy of security.
Okay,
in the
G,
Middle
I'm getting
East.
in these. I'm
So
getting
it's almost
in
like
some buys.
The U.S. can defend its interests
If
in
I'm
the Middle
fast
East
enough.
without actually physically being there.
Nah.
So Iran fits perfectly into everything that we talked about.
Wait, bro.
It uses rimland geography to threaten energy. It supplies oil to adversaries like China and Russia. It goes around the settlement network, which is the U.S. dollar. It pressures an ally. And Iran's interests were also present in Venezuela. So there's a lot of reasons, but more than likely, this theory says Iran is next for the U.S., Taiwan is next for China, and of course Ukraine might fall to Russia. Now none of this guarantees that's what happens next, but it does sort of explain the general idea of where it could be going next. Overall though, I'd love to hear your
Let's
thoughts.
go, bro. Let's
Let
go.
me know down in the comments below. As always, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already.
Yeah, I did. I mean, G, if it doesn't work, then it's fine. I mean, I just have to wait for the next opportunity. Show full meeting in the voice. Oh yeah, no, I got stopped out. Oh, not yet. Yeah, stopped out. Damn.
With your account or the...
Both.
Both. I
Both.
entered buys on Nasdaq.
Fuck, you know.
Nasdaqino, but I think Goldino, if it tops 95, 94, that I would be interested. 94, entered buys.
Anyways, let's see what happens now.
You entered 0.01, huh?
Yeah.
Let's go Nasdaqino. Bro, actually, let me... Because you told me that, like a friend of you got the, how do you say, the collar with the electricity for the dog to not make him go on the couch.
Ah, to control the dog. Yeah, the shocker.
Yeah, so here is illegal.
Why do you wanna get it? Why do you wanna get that for Baho?
Because he go on the fucking couch, bro. Like today, this night I forgot to leave the chair on it, and I haven't realized this morning it's full of hair because he went to sleep there. And I'm sick. Okay, no, yeah. I think I'm gonna get it. If I'm there.
Have you set the phone, bro? Is it done?
No, it's gonna take longer than I thought, bro. Oh, it's gonna take longer than I thought, G. But yeah, I'm just thinking about the... Oh yeah, now I know why I fucked up with the position, bro. Yeah.
Huh?
No, I was just thinking about the position.
What you was thinking?
I was thinking about what went wrong, and I know what went wrong. The 1 hour wasn't in sync with the 30 minute or 1 hour.
No, well, I'm not looking at the 30 minutes anymore. I don't like the 30 minutes. 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes. Or 5. But the 30 minutes, no.
Bro, I don't remember my password for the email. Fuck you, man.
Ma stacchino, bambino, però.
Bro, how... Yeah, I forgot my password, bro. Okay, fine. Zero 7494495.
Meta is doing shit. Okay. Fuck email, bro.
Look, now it's rejecting. It's rejected. But anyways, I know what the mistake was that, bro.
I mean, let's see, hasn't closed yet. And what price have you entered?
I think 14.
Miscone Sdacchino bambino. Yeah. Yeah, these weeks on the 15 minutes, it makes me think that it wants to keep going up, but no, I would wait for a better entry, because I would buy, as I told you, from 94, 95, or if we have a closure above 17, 18.
I mean, what I was doing, I was just reacting off of what the 4 hour, what the 4 hour was doing, you know.
I know, but with the 4 hour G, like with 500 leverage, if you enter on the closure of the 4 hour after it did the 4 hour move on a range of 1.22%, like the stop loss is like how many points? From 78 to 36.33. It's huge.
Yeah, let's see what happens now. Let's see.
It's like, you know, the bloody moon, bro. Yeah.
Oh my god, there's more. Fuck. Yeah. Anyways, let's see what happens. Bro, you know what? I haven't spoken to you in a long time, G.
Huh?
I said I haven't heard your voice in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't spoken in person. I mean, that's what I mean, bro.
Yeah, G.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while, bro.
What's been going on?
Nothing much, bro. Nothing much. More or less the same things. I think I'm going to the mountain this weekend.
Really?
Yeah. Hopefully it's nice weather. I'm going to ski.
Jeez. Yeah, that would be very nice.
Yeah. Yes, bro.
Who you going with? Who will you be going with?
Gabriele, Cecilia, the kids, bro. And maybe comes Lorenzo. And maybe also some other friends they will be there. I'm not sure though, not sure. Not sure about. Anyways, what about you, G?
Nothing much, bro. Just the same, bro. The same. Everything is fine.
What do you think about the situation? You was watching a video on the geopolitical situation. Huh?
Bro, what can you do, G? The US is doing whatever it wants.
Are you still do you still like Mr. Trump?
Bro, until we're rich, bro. Until we're rich, I have no answer. I have no comment.
You have no comment on Trumpetto?
No, because I don't know, man. Like, for me, I don't like. I don't know. As long as they make the situation better for myself and the people that I care about, bro, I don't care about what they do, bro.
So as long as you become rich, if other millions of people dies, you don't care.
It's not that I don't care, bro. I don't want it to happen, but what can I do, bro?
But so I think that Trump is gonna make you rich.
Nah, it's only up to myself.
Yeah. So
But he's an element towards whatever I'm doing, you know. He no matter what, there's an element of his actions that causes an effect. For example, like I trade gold, yeah, and it's like not anything, but there could be, because he's the president of the United States, that has influence on the dollar, right? Which means it has influence on also gold as well, because gold trades against the dollar. So
yeah.
So technically, not anything. I keep trying to say anything, but not anything. But there could be situations that he creates that will impact my perspective on trading gold. You know, and
I mean, he's bringing instability and it causes volatility on the markets. I mean, especially the commodities, because his policies, like, I mean, he's trying to influence the Federal Reserve. Have you heard about Jerome Powell being investigated?
Bro, it's so sad, man. It's so sad.
Yeah, it's like this guy is crazy, bro. Like he's bullying the world, like everybody. Like I don't know, G. I'm disappointed. I think I changed my mind. I thought, I mean, maybe I didn't know. I haven't followed the previous Monday, so I don't know, G. But maybe my judgment was, I think was very good. Not that I liked Kamala Harris. I think both sides are very, like, the choice was embarrassing. But I thought he would be a different character, G. So yeah, I didn't expect all of this. And it's not about the tariffs, so it's mostly about his action against Iran, Venezuela. The way he behaved with the Palestina-Israel situation. Mostly about that, because I mean, we are talking about the markets, the volatility and everything, but for the rest, there are millions of people that are suffering from this shit, and it's just not nice. Fuck, what? That's the kid. What happened?
What happened, G?
Okay, Goldino is approaching a nice area. But now I'm in this position with Nas. I don't know, both of them, they dropped. Fuck, yeah. Okay, now, Goldino is at the POC. Come on. Close. Goldino. Bye. Bye, Goldino. Okay, I entered Goldino.
Okay. Oh, bro. Yeah, so this guy, Mr. Trump, bro. I think even maybe we don't even know what the truth is, We're only given what we're supposed to see. They want us to think a certain way about these people that they're showing us,
I mean, talking about the news, the TV.
Yeah.
I don't watch TV, bro. Like, I'm not following what they say. I have my opinion. I mean, I follow different sources, but nah, G, like.
Would you say? No, go on. Yeah, sorry.
Like, if you listen to what they say in TV, they don't really like Trump, but probably they are more for the Democrats, but still they are pro-US. They try to justify the actions of US. They not saying that the Venezuela thing has been bad. It's actually a good thing because Maduro was a dictator and stuff like that. I think it's bullshit. Okay, he should never ever do what he did. Like that there is international law, and I think we should follow it. It's not because you are a superpower you do whatever you want. What they did with the Palestine is really bad, bro. Really, really bad. What they are trying to do with Iran, they say that Iran is also in very bad situation. The dictatorship made the country like super poor, and they don't see like the previous 50 years, 70 years. The war happened. They forget the story. They just say, oh, okay, Iran is, the people of Iran are manifesting, how do you say, protesting, no? Because they are super poor, no? The country is fucked up. But why is fucked up? The thing is, why is fucked up? Because U.S. sanctions. Like, if the U.S. says that now they want to put tariffs on, like if countries do business with Iran, is gonna Trump threatened tariffs. You know, like how an economy can succeed, no, can do well if the strongest power in the world behaving this way, you know, like, oh, he not comply with what we want, okay, so the rest of the world can't trade with you. Of course, the economy doesn't grow, no, like people get poor. It's same with Venezuela. Now they say, oh, Venezuela is super poor. Of course, it's 20 years that the U.S. sanctioned Venezuela. Of course, it's super poor. They cannot buy the machine for extract the oil. They cannot do they cannot have the, how do you say, the consulting about what they need and what they don't need, you know, like of course they cannot sell oil to everybody. It's no, I mean, probably Maduro, he was kind of corrupted, and then I don't know, like it's not even the main thing. So, and it's not just Trump. Okay, it's US in general, but he made probably even worse. You know, like the way he's acting is, I don't know, Jimmy. I don't think it's. Anyways, Goldino rejected the level, bro. Fucking. Let's see. Let's go. Let's go. I closed the oil trade. Nasdaq is pushing. Even the cryptos are moving today. The inflation is sticky.
So what do you think's remaining for the future? What do you think is gonna happen now in the future with the geopolitical situation, bro?
The future, like in the next future, like in the next years, in the next months.
Yeah, in the next few months. I mean,
I mean, everybody now is saying that they will probably attack Iran. I don't know, bro. It can be, I don't know. And I don't think China will attack Taiwan. I don't think so. I don't think China will start wars. But who knows, really? I think they will keep playing the good guys in this game. And more people, I don't even know if, because yeah, probably they just still in the matrix, G, like no matter how many times the TV make fun of them, you know, like yeah, they're not realizing what's happening. But I don't know, G. I think a big part of the war is waking up against with what United States is actually is. Especially the BRICS, you know, like definitely not the Western countries, but the rest of the world is, is realizing what United States are. Gee.
No, that's fair, bro. That's fair.
And also, you know, like, have you heard about the Greenland?
No, what happened in Greenland? Oh, the Trump wants to take it over.
Yeah. Like the thing is, like us as Europe, we relied on United States against Russia, and you know, and now this, bro. Like UK and Germany, they was talking about moving troops to Greenland, and it's what they're trying to do, like what they do. Like if US attacks, what they do? Like I don't know. It's funny. It's funny. I mean, it's sad, more than funny, but.
Yeah, I mean, what? So you think Europe is gonna try and fight against the US?
Nah, there's no way. There's no way.
But what do you think if what do you think about people saying that the US is gonna lose its power soon?
I mean, the only chance to lose their power soon it would mean that they are going to war with China, and China wins. So I don't think is that time yet, because US is still the first economy, the first. Like financially, they are the strongest power, even military. But for the rest, even on the tech, okay, for technology, they are the first power. But China is overtaking them, bro.
What, as in China's overtaking the US?
I think so, yeah. Especially because if you look back in the history, I remember from school, but before the British Empire, we had the strongest country was France, but they focused too much on like useless things, like luxury stuff. They forgot about the stuff that are more important, like nowadays. Like the real economy, okay. I'm talking about the manufacturing and the commodities. That's the real economy. Then they still have the the high tech, but I think China will catch up with it. But now all the production, all the refine. I don't know, but it's in the hands of China.
The refineries.
Refineries, yeah. So I think they are close to, like, US realized that, and they are trying to take action quickly, because otherwise it's done for them. And it's done for them, like being the only power in the world. But I think this is already over, no? Like China, Russia, even in India, bro, is becoming a superpower. The only one they are losing, bro, is Europe. Europe, UK. We are dying, G.
Yeah, because we didn't catch on, bro. That's what it is.
Yeah, we didn't catch on.
And we rely on other people as well.
With this Green Deal, we suicide ourselves.
Which Green Deal?
The environmental thing, like zero emission, like green economy, the fight against the pollution, bro. Like having electric cars and this kind of stuff, like the Germany suicided himself, especially the economy of Germany was very dependent from the automotive sector, and to enforce all the policies with the electric cars, with the zero emission, you know, like they suicide themselves.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking? I was speaking with my colleagues, yeah. Wait, first of all, okay, let me end the stream first before I say what I'm gonna say, because it's gonna be quite
That boy is Benny Hanna.
Views from the hills, dreams why we grinding. Chilling there, penning with guidance. Been a long year, still trying, still patient. Blessing my mama with greatness. Telling my friends we made it. Old notes, new faces. Same squad, different races. Views from the hills, dreams why we grinding. Chilling there, penning with guidance. Been a long year, still trying, still patient. Blessing my mama with greatness. Telling my friends we made it. Old notes, new faces. Same squad, different races. 765 or Lambo Cian. Dreams turn real, how we be in. For a long time been chasing, we ranging. Can't fall to break out. Girls outside want make out. Can't give the time, don't chase cloud. Can't give them love, must earn it. Double the bags, you know we won't quit. Won't quit. Most of these hoes be toxic. They on the way, been watching. Liking the way we plotting. Feeling the vibes, or my mate. Music engraved, been through the phase. Singing our songs, they know the phrase. With passion, we rapping. With passion, we trapping. Dreams on dreams, you go big on big. Wanting it all, wonderful thing, it's what we like. All the time. Views from the hills, dreams why we grinding. Chilling there, penning with guidance. Been a long year, still trying, still patient. Blessing my mama with greatness. Telling my friends we made it. Old notes, new faces. Same squad, different races. Views from the hills, dreams why we grinding. Chilling there, penning with guidance. Been a long year, still trying, still patient. Blessing my mama with greatness. Telling my friends we made it. Old notes, new faces. Same squad, different races.
Mr. Wills is hard to kill. Ain't nobody murking me. He might have more money, but he'll never have more heart than me. Cartier frames I see through, so all of them lies I see through. Tried everything I could to keep you, but in the end